All right. Well, again, it's so great to see all you joining us tonight. I'm Marshall Butler, and I am the Zone 34 Public Image Coordinator. Started this term on July 1, 2020, in the midst of some crazy times here on Earth. And it's been an interesting 2 years, but it's been an exciting 2 years and been a real treat to be a part of this great team that we've put together. And that's what we want to do tonight, is we want to introduce this team to you. So first things first, if you want to go ahead and download the deck, there's a QR code. You can grab your phone and use the camera and take a shot of that, and it'll take you straight to the Canva slide deck. You'll learn as you get to know us that we absolutely adore Canva. Everything we do is in Canva. We love Canva. But go ahead and please know that we will be recording this session as well. And we'll be providing the recordings of this session tomorrow. We're going to talk about a lot of resources tonight, and we'll include all of that in that email that will come out tomorrow. So really, the number one goal for tonight, though, is to introduce the Zone 34 Public Image team. And as I mentioned, I'm Marshall Butler from the Rotary Club of West Jacksonville, and joined Rotary on May 29th, 2002. That's my wife's birthday, so I can't forget the day that I joined Rotary, May 29th. I always remember that day, and just celebrated my 20th year with Rotary. So it's been a great time. And tonight we're going to ask our team, as we go to their slides, we're going to ask them to share a fun fact about themselves, just so you get to know us a little bit. Got a really eclectic group here. And my fun fact is I am trying to run every street in Jacksonville, Florida. There are 14,900 streets that cover about 6,000 miles. And so far, I've covered about 50% of that. It's going to take me another 2 or 3 years to cover the rest of Jacksonville. But I have a little bit of OCD. I'm very stubborn, and I like to run. So next up, we have Kim Walden. Kim is from Rotary Club of Thomasville, Georgia. Kim, introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. Rotarian since 2011, and loving my time as public image coordinator and enjoying spreading the news on the Zone 33-34 Facebook page. So make sure you've gone there and said hi, like the page. Fun fact, I went up in the Red Baron biplane and I got to do loop-de-loops and barrel rolls. So fun fact for me would be I loved loop-de-loops and barrel rolls in an airplane.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Man, I'd lose my stomach. Next up, we have Allison Hussey. Allison, you're muted.
Good.
There you go.
There we go. Hi, everyone. I am Allison Charney Hussey, and I am now a member of the Rotary Club of Sanibel Captiva. This will be my third Rotary Club in District 6960, starting out in LaBelle and then being in Cape Coral for a bit. But I am entering my second year as the Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinator, and I'm still learning a lot from the rest of the team, so bear with me, but I hope to be able to help you all, at least help you find the answers, especially if I don't know what they are myself. So my fun fact is I believe that I've probably been involved in Rotary longer than most of everyone else on the team, because in 1992, I was an ambassadorial scholar. So I don't know.
I got you by 4 years.
I think I have more history than anybody else on the team, but definitely not more knowledge. So
nope, I was president of my Interact Club in 1988.
Well, then my fun fact is not really fun.
Hey, but anyone being an ambassadorial scholar is something that I would never have been able to do. So I think that certainly trumps all in that is an amazing accomplishment to be selected as an ambassadorial scholar. So I may have duration, but certainly not that sort of accolade. So that's, and where did you go, Allison, on your scholarship?
I went to the University of Melbourne in Australia, and the Rotary Club of Cape Coral was my host sponsor. And so District 6960, my district, sent me. And then when I became president, they sent me back to Australia for the Rotary International Convention in Sydney. So I've been to Australia twice on Rotary.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, good. Hey, Sean, if you could, in the back office, I'm hearing that the chat is locked. So if you, I'm not sure, I can't find the button to unlock it right now. So if you can find that, I know you know your way around much better than I do. If you could unlock the chat, that'd be awesome. Or maybe I did find it. There it is. Yeah, Sean just did it. So with that, I'm going to introduce our tech guru, Mr. Sean Patty. Sean. But you're muted, Sean.
Yeah, I don't know about the tech guru part if I can't unmute myself. So fun fact, I don't know. Sean may or may not like Star Wars, you know. So Sean Patty, member of the Rotary Club of Port of Spain, District 1713, the Southern Caribbean. Really happy to be part of the team this year and future years. We've got a lot of good stuff in store for clubs and members this year. Really looking forward to engaging with more clubs and more members and helping everybody achieve their public image goals this year. So yeah, that's about it for me. And just to reveal, there you go.
There's Sean Patty. Oh my gosh, I'm going to freeze this frame. Sean never puts his camera on, you folks.
It's officially a new Rotary year.
This is amazing. Wow. Well, I mean, this webinar is complete as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, there you go. We can end it right here on a high note.
But for everyone else, I cannot wait. We got so much great content in this webinar. We have got some surprises, and I'm super excited. But for the team, I got to let you all know that everyone else that's joining this webinar tonight, for the team, this is pretty special. So, Sean Patty, it's great to see you. Michael Wallstrom, your turn, man.
Okay, first of all, I thought Sean was a committed Rotarian in the witness protection program until right now.
He may be.
There he is in person. So, Michael Wallstrom in District 6930, Rotary Club downtown Boca Raton. I might be the most recent Rotarian out of the group. I joined Rotary in November of 2014, and I'm just coming on to the public image team this year. Fun fact for myself, I just came off my district governor year. I just became a past district governor, which was a great year, and thrilled to wrap it up. But during my year, I actually walked the entire length of my district, which was 185 miles, and took me 8 days as part of a fundraising effort. So that's a fun fact.
That's awesome, and generated a ton of public interest in public image for his district and the Youth Peace Program. So really well done, and made it super easy to select Michael Wallstrom to be a part of this team. The next one up is one of the first surprises of tonight, and I'm super excited to be announcing this. Recently, a letter from the RI Board of Directors and Trustees was sent to one Susan Corder. Susan was a member of the public image team from 2017 to 2020. She was an assistant Rotary public image coordinator. And it is my great honor and pleasure to let you all know that Susan will be taking this seat right here. She will be the Rotary public image coordinator for Zone 34 starting July 1, 2023. And can't be more excited. Susan Corder, super thrilled to have you on this team again.
Thank you so much, Marshall. I'm super excited to be back on this team. Many of you on the team I've known for some time and have really enjoyed that experience, and look forward to working with you again, and a few new faces as well. So I couldn't be more thrilled and humbled, and just super, super excited to be working on the zone team and serving our districts and clubs in Zone 34 in this capacity again. Just a little bit about me. I'm in the Rotary Club of Lakewood Ranch. I was in another club in West Plains, Missouri, when I started my Rotary journey in 2005. So I have 17 years of Rotary under my belt, and I've been involved in some capacity with public image my entire Rotary journey. So my fun fact is I was voted by my senior high school graduating class to be most school spirited. And I think that's fun and interesting and very relevant, because I then turned that spirit into Rotary spirit, and I carry it with me every day, sharing it with the world, and it stays in my heart as well. So again, just so proud to be on this team, and look forward to working with everyone on this call and more.
Oh, it's great to have you back. And that's a fun fact, because I also was most school spirit in high school. So it must be this coordinator position. If you ever got most school spirit at your high school, you are in line to become the public image coordinator for Zone 34. And all right, so I just asked the group what's going on with our slides, if anyone has noticed anything going on. And someone said that we got a bad logo on these slides. I'm not sure. I mean, the first thing I did was I went to Google and I Googled Rotary logo, and that's what came up. So that's how you do it, right? You go to Google and you Google Rotary logo, and you find something that you like and stick it on slides. Actually, that is not the thing to do, and that's something that we want to talk to you about tonight. Is Google is not your friend when it comes to brand compliance and Rotary public image. You definitely want to. We're going to show you some resources where you can find the correct logo. So with that being said, great to do these introductions and let you know a little bit about this team. And let me tell you, this team, we just have a lot of fun. There's a lot of good people that are a part of this team, and just have a good time. And we love to share the Rotary story. We love to help clubs grow. We love to help our zone grow. And so just to understand a little bit about Zone 34, and this, I was putting this together today, and this just kind of blows my mind. Who is Zone 34? Zone 34 is 779 Rotary clubs. 779 Rotary clubs, 171 Rotaract clubs. So you do the math, that is about 950 clubs. And I'm sure as we grow Rotary, that number continues to grow and grow and grow. 30,602 Rotarians, 2,916 Rotaractors. So, we're looking at about almost 34,000 in our family of Rotary as we go through that. 30 countries in Zone 34. 30 countries, 3 states, 30 countries, 4 languages, and a wide variety of dialects. And then there's our team. There's the 5 of us that get to be like Atlas and hold up all of Zone 34. 950 clubs, 34,000 Rotarians, 30 countries, 4 languages, wide variety of dialects, and us 5. So I share that with you just to keep things in context, to know that our team is here to support. And we do everything we can to help districts and clubs. There's actually, what do we have? 8, 11, 14 districts in this zone as well. So we do everything we can, but just know that there's 5 of us, and we do everything we can to support you. But actually, we like to support Zone 34 plus. We actually like to support all of Rotary. We like to put together things that support telling the Rotary story even beyond Zone 34. And Sean came up with the Zone 34 plus as a homage to the Polio Plus campaign, not just polio, but Polio Plus. So we're Zone 34 plus. And so we are here to support and help both for Zone 34. And we hope that the resources that you find are going to help folks that are here in our zone and those that are beyond. I know we have a lot of friends that are outside of Zone 34 participating in this, and we certainly do want to support any way we can. So one of the number one things that we do like to make sure we cover as we get started for the Rotary year is our job, our charge to protect the mark of excellence, to make sure that we are always using the brand correctly. We're using the master brand, the mark of excellence. We're not doing anything fancy or fun with it. We're not being too creative. We think if you want to be creative, you can be creative with a lot of things, but not the logos. That's one thing that we absolutely ask you to please honor and make sure you use it with full integrity and you follow the guidelines when you're doing that. If not, you will find the mythical Rotary police will come after you. That's actually past RI Public Image Coordinator for Zone 34, Sheila Bethel, out of Rotary District 7020. And she's not kidding. Those handcuffs work. And there aren't Rotary police, but there is logo police. And trust me, we will come and get you. But anyway, there's a great video that Rotary just put out, and I would encourage you all to watch it and to share it with your clubs. It's called One Voice, Every Club. And we'll send out a link in our email tomorrow with a link to this. And it really is very helpful in kind of understanding some of the proper uses for the Rotary logo. So Rotary puts out some really nice resources. And so really want to encourage you all to watch this video. There's also been a revision of the brand section of the brand center on RI's website. And in the past, you would get the PDF, you would download the PDF, and it would be a whole lot of information. And sometimes it was just a little overwhelming. Well, they've redone it. And so now there's a brand elements section of the website. So you can see it over here on the right-hand side. It guides you through, logos and mark of excellence and how to use the image and the colors and the typography. So they've kind of made it interactive. So it's not a static document with a PDF, but it's a part of the website. And so I would encourage you to go check out the brand center on the Rotary.org website and make sure that you're using the logo correctly. And it's a great place to download the logo. So you can go there and don't use Google and find the first image that is resulted in the images tab, but go to the brand center and download the logo. Someone was asking earlier about where to get the presidential theme. You can do a search on RI and look for presidential theme or Imagine, and that comes down as well. And I think there's a link actually on the homepage, which takes you to a message from President Jennifer Jones and takes you to some resources. And if anybody else in the team wants to pipe up, I think that's where her logos are. But they're definitely on the RI website. And always make sure that you download logos from the RI website. And again, back to Canva, first thing we do every year when the new logo is released, we download it. And because we use Canva Pro, which I would recommend everybody do, it's only $10 per person, unless you're a 501c3, and you can get a free subscription for up to 10 people. It has a brand guide, a brand kit. And first thing we do is we download the new logo and embed it into our brand kit so that everybody working on our Canva can access those logos and make sure they're using the right logo correctly. We do like to remind everyone that, the logo that we loved so much, the blue and the yellow logo, it's not the old logo. The one on the right is not the new logo anymore. It's been around for 8 years. It's not new. It's been around for a long time. If you can, please find those examples of the blue and yellow, the old mark of excellence, and remove those. We do understand that some folks may have stationery or things that have been printed, but Rotary gave a special dispensation to exhaust any supplies that you might have. But they've asked that going forward, if you reproduce any materials, that you use the new logo. And we know that a lot of folks have the old pins. Those are still okay, but everything going forward, we encourage you to use that new master brand and the new mark of excellence. And of course, we are very excited to be serving under the leadership of RI President Jennifer Jones. This is truly a historic year, and I believe it's a great opportunity for us in Rotary to tell the Rotary story and talk about the new Rotary and how Rotary is changing and how Rotary can reach everyone. And I know there's just so many opportunities for us to talk about the exciting things going on in Rotary. But whatever you do, please do not modify President Jennifer's logo. We've found some really interesting examples of things that have been modified on the web, and it's just not the right thing to do. Please make sure, again, whenever you use a Rotary logo, that you use it as designed. And I always like to leave in a gratuitous theme photo from a couple years ago when we had President Holger Knock, and he was wearing the world famous Rotary pants. Every time I see this, it makes me laugh because Holger is representing the Rotary pants. And we do have a shameless plug in here. If you're interested in getting a pair of Rotary shorts or skirts, we do have some of those available to order, and you'll get the link when you download the deck. But going into it, one of the biggest priorities that we can share with you for clubs is to participate in the Rotary Zone 34 Public Image Citation. We have seen in the past when we would see a brochure come out early in the Rotary year, and it had all the tasks that you had to complete for the year to get the citation the following April. And we would see Rotary clubs actively working hard right out of the gates, July and August, doing what they could to complete some of the tasks in that citation so that they could qualify for the award the next year. Well, if there's one thing that we know about about public image, it's that consistency is the key. And we also know that there's certain foundational things that you need to do to ensure long-term success for your club in terms of public image. And so a couple of years ago, and there may be some folks on here that have participated over the last several years in our public image citation and have followed this process, we have broken it out into tasks, monthly tasks over 8 to 9 months. And every month we issue a new task. And the idea is we want this to be consistent. We want there to be documents created, strategies created that are foundational, that can be handed off to the next public image chair in your club, so that every year it's not a blank page and having to start from scratch on July 1, but it's a process. It's a sustainable process. So year over year, you can build on your public image strategy, and you can continue to enhance and find out what worked last year, what didn't work, what should we change. And so the first task that we have in our public image citation, is it's the public image audit. And I've seen a lot of folks so far have gone out and they have completed their public image audit. And I appreciate all of you for doing that. And it says due July 31st, 2022. We actually threw this task out last April when we did our public image boot camp. But July 31st is not a drop dead date. Actually, we will give you until September 30th to get this public image audit done, because we know some folks may have missed a meeting recently and you're now the public image chair and you're thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Well, you are going to have until the end of September to do the public image audit. And what we want you to do is we want you to find all those accounts that your club has, the Facebook accounts, the Twitter accounts, the Instagram accounts, the TikToks, the Instagram, the websites. And we want you to make sure that you're using the correct brand on all of those sites. We also want to before you even do that, we want to make sure that you can log into those sites. We find clubs that find sites that they didn't even know existed, and they can no longer log into them. We call those zombie accounts. We want you to get rid of the zombie accounts, log into those accounts, make sure that the new logos are being used correctly, and make sure that you're posting to them regularly. Make sure there's consistency in the posting. The worst thing you can do is what we call post and ghost. And that's what we're trying to get away from with this new process. Is we don't want you to start the Rotary year and think, oh my gosh, Jennifer Jones is president, we're going to post all this stuff in July and August. And then in September, October, November, December, no one hears from you. That's not good. The inconsistency is what kills public image. It needs to be consistent every single month, or every single week, actually, putting out some content. So that's going to be the first task. And you're going to go through and you're going to look at all your social media. And I know everybody here probably really enjoys looking at social media. This is a common sight in coffee shops, in airports, at the mall. Everyone's always looking at their social media.
Time to check my social media, yeah. To see who loves me online.
So you definitely want to make sure people know that you love them, because you're going to be putting content out every single week. That's what you got to do. Every single week, share the content. Next up, we have the public image plan. And this is something that I think many of you may have been working on. And this is where you identify who's on my team, who is going to take pictures. We all carry 4K cameras in our pockets every day. I get separation anxiety when I don't have my camera phone with me. So always be carrying that. So everyone should be responsible for taking photos at club meetings. But who's going to be doing the newsletter? Who's going to be taking care of the social media channels? Who's going to take care of the website? So think of all those people that are going to be a part of your team. Also think about what channels do we want to target? We want to attract some younger members. We are kind of in an echo chamber here at Facebook where we're talking to everyone 45 plus, but we want to get people in their 20s and 30s. So we might want to go over to Instagram and post over there. You think about all those things in your public image plan, how frequently you're going to post, where you're going to post, who's going to be on your team. Maybe you have some budget that you can use for some new signage. going back to the brand, I still drive around streets here in Jacksonville, and I still see the old logo on the sides of the road where people have had that logo, that old steel wheel there for 30 years. Maybe you can replace that road sign that has the old logo and put the new master brand on the side of the road, so there's no confusion. So think about what you're going to do with your public image plan. What are some of your big goals for the coming Rotary year? What do you want to accomplish? And we're going to ask you, again, this is August 31st, but honestly, we're going to give you until the end of September, because we know a lot of this takes some thought, some time, some team meetings, stuff like that. So we want to give you a little extra time. We just, ideally it'd be done by August 31st, but we'll give you until September 30th. And then the final part of the first 3 tasks that we're putting out there is the content calendar. And the content calendar, we think, is super important because it's so important to plan your work and then work your plan. You know, over the course of a year, you know that you have certain service projects that you do, you have certain fundraisers or socials that you do. We know that we have these building blocks in our Rotary year. In October, we have World Polio Day. In November, we have Foundation Month. We know that we have these months. And so what we suggest is you put together what's called an editorial calendar or a content calendar and say, you know what, this week I'm going to post this. We got this fundraiser coming up in August. I know I can go ahead and start posting about it, or I can start planning for it. And that way you don't find yourself in a given week thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have anything to post to Facebook this week because I didn't plan it out. So this kind of helps you chunk your work and plan ahead. Now, we know that sometimes it's hard to come up with content. And that's when we recommend that you go look at the great channels that RI has, the Facebook channels, the Instagram channels, the blog. There's great content that RI puts out. And so go check those channels. If you're really scrambling and really struggling to find a post for a given week, go look at the RI channels. One other thing that you can do, and we highly recommend this, is we recommend that all the clubs in Zone 34 use hashtag Rotary Shares. And we follow this on Instagram, and we see clubs doing amazing things with hashtag Rotary Shares. So follow something like an Instagram or follow other clubs and see what they're doing. And maybe, share some of their content. That's how we're going to grow Rotary, is we're going to work together. Everyone in your club is responsible for sharing content about Rotary. And then we can also be responsible for sharing content from other clubs, helping other clubs succeed, because, a rising tide raises all boats. So if we help other clubs succeed, we're helping ourselves all together. Now, here's one of the exciting parts that we're getting into, and that's zone resources. I am super thrilled to be getting into this next section of the webinar tonight. In the past, we had a whole bunch of resources for you, rotaryshares.org/web. We had the blog, we had a video, we had going directly to our Canva channel, some streaming stuff. Well, I am super excited tonight to tell you that you don't have to remember all these links anymore. This is no longer going to be necessary because tonight we're going to be announcing that we have a brand new Rotary Zone 34 public image website. And this website has all the content. It has all of our slide decks, all the webinars, links to all the public image citation tasks. It's got information about our team. If you participate in the Feed 10 Million program, and we got links to that. This is a work in progress. And we are going to be adding our events calendar, so you know where we're going to be or when we're going to be doing webinars. So I'm actually going to stop this share real quick, and I'm actually going to jump over and I'm going to share the website because I am super excited about this. This team has done a lot of great work over the last couple of days working on this website, and I think you're going to be really, really pleased. So this is the homepage. And like I said, cue animation, check. If you're a brand new public image chair, this big green bar, you can't miss it. Click start here, and it is going to take you to a page, and we're going to continue to build this out. We've been working on this the last couple of weeks. It's not completely fleshed out yet. We know that there's additional resources that we can add, but we're going to ask people to register for the emails. Everyone on this call tonight, you already get the emails, so don't worry about that. Register for the citation, and then some resources on how to use the logo. So that's the first thing. We want to make it super easy for people who have gotten this job and maybe they don't know what they're doing to sign up for some resources. Next thing, you will always be able to find the next webinar that we have in our series in this section right here. Register for our webinar. So it's going to be super easy. Always go to this section. You'll see what the next webinar is. We're going to be announcing that a little bit later on. So tomorrow, this section is actually going to get updated. So you'll be able to see that. Actually, typically there's a cool little countdown timer here, but since we're in the webinar, it's like T-minus, we're in it. Quick overview of what we do. And then bios on our team. Folks are always asking, well, who covers my district? And so you can jump in here, and there's Sean Patty again. Look at that smile. You can click in here and learn more about the team, and actually also learn what districts we are going to be serving. So all that information is in here, so you can find out who you need to be talking to and who to call if you need help. So also we have my computer is slowing down on me. Got too much going on. Our webinar series archives. So we have put out about, I don't know, 24 webinars over the last 4 years. Susan Corder was actually a pioneer in this. She, I think, did the very first Zone 34 webinar ever. So we're coming full circle. So we have the archives of all of our webinars that you can watch right here. Actually, this links out so you can find that. We have the citation. So here it is, the first 3 tasks. If you couldn't find the links anywhere else, you can always come here and find the links. And one of the coolest things is right here on the public image audit, the first task of the year that we're going to be asking you to do. Actually, I'm jumping ahead because this slide is going to be later on in this deck. But Sean Patty today put together something that is so cool. And that is, he put together a complete directory of all the social media channels of all the clubs in Zone 34 that have participated in the citation over the last couple of years. So if you have submitted your public image channels as part of the citation for the last 2 years, we have you in here. So we want you to go in here and check. But if you want to find another club that you can follow, maybe there's some clubs that you know are doing really fantastic things. This is a chance for you to find those clubs and to follow them and see what they're doing and learn from them. If anyone tells you that they know everything about public image or social media, remind them of the 4-way test, because they are not following it. We can all learn from each other. And this is a great way to find all the other clubs in Zone 34 that are using social media. And now I don't expect you all to tattle on people if they're using the wrong logo, but you can tell Kim Walden because she'll get them. And then we have all the slide decks of all the sessions that we've ever done. So you can find all that material here. Any slide deck that you want to go and find. Actually, we made these all templates. So we always talk about Rotary R&D, which is rip off and duplicate. You can actually take these decks, personalize them, make them your own, and pretend like you created them, and just present them to your club, and they'll think you're amazing. And then we actually, as part of our citation last year, we got some really nice comments from people that participated in this, and we're actually curating through those comments right now to get rid of all the bad comments that really there weren't any. But we're putting up some comments. So just so you know that we're this process works. We have seen a lot of success. We've seen a lot of growth in clubs in Zone 34 over the last couple of years using this process. And we're excited to share some of the comments that we've gotten. And then, as I mentioned, we have the Feed 10 Million project. A lot of folks are doing some amazing work in their communities, helping feed those that have insecurity around meal insecurity. And so we have a link to that. And we'll continue to add other resources. This team helps out with Zoom formation calls, Rotary Works, Empowering Girls. This club is kind of, I'll refer to it later, but we are the Energizer Bunny of Zone 34. This club, I think we have our finger in everything. And so we'll list a lot of those resources on this website. But again, super excited and thrilled to share this new resource for you all. Again, it's elevaterotary.org. And I think you're all going to find it really helpful as you work in the coming year to tell the Rotary story for your clubs and districts. And we're just super excited to be able to share these resources with you. You won't have to go hunting and pecking and finding, where the heck did the Zone 34 people post this? It's all going to be in one resource. With that, I'm going to get us back over here to our slide deck. Because right now we do want to talk about some future webinars that we're going to be doing. Coming up next is going to be using Canva for all your content needs. So you'll remember our task for the month of September is creating the content calendar. And we know that Canva is a way to get super prolific in creating content. And so we did a webinar on Canva, I guess 2 years ago, and I think we had over 400 people in that webinar. It was really successful. I think it was put on by now District Governor nominee Kelsey Mitchell out of 6960, past Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinator, and also District Governor-elect Barbara Goby out of Rotary 6990. And so we're actually going to refresh that, add a lot of material, because in the last 2 years, Canva has just done a ton in terms of innovating and adding features. And we're big believers. So in August, we're going to be doing the Canva for all your content needs. And then in September, we're going to kind of talk about how to promote great events, because we know Rotarians are always putting together fundraisers and social events and stuff like that. And we're going to do a webinar on how to promote great events. And one of the greatest opportunities that we can have to do a great event is in October with World Polio Day. And so we're going to give you some tips and tricks on how to have a super successful World Polio Day event as well. So these links will be on the website very soon. Like I mentioned, we'll be replacing that graphic out right on the homepage with the Canva graphic tonight. And then you'll be able to register there tomorrow. And there will also be a link in the follow-up email that you receive to register for that August 29th webinar. One other thing, though, is you can always invite us to speak to your clubs. There's clubs that are within a radius of us. We're pretty well spread geographically, where we can visit clubs sometimes. But in the age of post-COVID pandemic, geography really doesn't matter anymore. We can now visit your clubs virtually. And if you have the opportunity to bring someone in through Zoom, we'd be thrilled to speak to your clubs about public image, about the importance of telling the Rotary story, about the resources that we have to help you tell the Rotary story. So please reach out to us and invite us to speak to your clubs. We always love spending time with Rotarians across our zone. And then finally, I throw this slide up in a lot of the decks that I use, but this is so powerful. And this was a quote from a fellow named Scott Harrison. And Scott spoke at a conference that I went to in Boston a couple of years ago. He's the CEO of Charity Water, doing amazing things around the world with water projects. And Scott said, as I looked at charities, I saw bad websites. I saw anemic brands. Nick Kristof had written the New York Times that people are peddling toothpaste with more sophistication than all the world's life-saving causes. And where was the Nike, the Apple, the Virgin? Where were these imaginative, inspiring charities? And if there's one thing that I can ask you all to do, that's be innovative. Look for ways to be that brand. We want Rotary to be that brand, that innovative brand that does things differently. Don't just mail in your club meetings or your events or your social media. Be constantly thinking of ways to innovate. I'm always looking at what are for-profit companies doing to grab market share, to grab people's attention. It's tough nowadays. If you don't grab someone's attention within the first 2 or 3 seconds, you're not going to get it. And that's why we can't continue to do the things that we've always done. We need to continue to innovate and think of innovative ways that we can emulate some of these well-known brands like Nike and Apple and Coca-Cola. That's why it's so important that we're consistent with our usage of the brand, because if we're not consistent, we're going to confuse the market and we're going to get lost in that noise and in that clutter. So be thinking of ways to innovate and think of ways to really make sure that Rotary International, the organization that we love so much, rises above all those other organizations. We know that we have a great foundation that is 4-star rated by Charity Navigator that does just amazing things around the world. And so let's continue to think of those ways that we can innovate. So I did mention earlier that I would recommend that you go look at #Rotary Shares if you're looking for inspiration from other clubs. Go look at Rotaract clubs. You want to look at innovative use of social media and public image. Look at our Rotaractors. They can certainly show the way. We do have this resource that I mentioned of all the clubs that have submitted public image citations in the past, that audit and all their links. So go take a look at those as well. And as we wrap up, we'll do some Q&A in a minute. I do want to make sure that I remind you all of, if I know that people on this call tonight might not just be public image, they may be membership. We know that the three are so intertwined: membership, public image, foundation. These are all intertwined together. And actually, the zones 33, 34 membership teams, the Rotary coordinators, have watched what the public image team has done over the last couple of years of creating webinar content and then creating tasks that you can immediately take information from a webinar and make it actionable in terms of that task and create foundational materials and go through a process to create a sustainable process around public image. The membership team is actually following our roadmap that we created here at the Zone 34 Public Image Team. And they're doing something very similar. They're calling it the Membership Action Plan. And their next webinar is going to be on August 8th at 5 p.m. And they are following the same concept where they're going to do webinars, do some training, give you a task that you should be thinking about, how to grow your membership, and then you can go act on it. So I do want to encourage you all. We're, of course, again, a rising tide lifts all boats. So the public image team absolutely wants to support our membership team, because if we grow Rotary, we can do more. And then if we do more, we can share more. And so it's so important that we help the foundation and the membership teams. Well, that's our team. And as I mentioned, we are the Energizer Bunnies of the Zone 34 coordinators. We actually absolutely love what we do. This team is so committed and does so much great work. And it's fun to be a part of the team. And we look forward to supporting all the clubs and districts across Zone 34 and beyond, Zone 34 plus, right, Sean? So with that, we'll do a wrap up and answer any questions. Looks like we might have a couple of questions out there. Sean, you want to read some for me?
Sure, no probs. So I'll actually not go in any particular order here. So Karen asked a question with reference to Canva and as well as DACDB. She said that DACDB has a calendar feature and whether or not Canva can replace this or does replace this.
No, I think DACDB, well, I'm not super familiar with the DACDB. I'm not familiar with specifically what that calendar feature might be. If that's the events calendar, I'm not sure. I don't believe they have any sort of a content calendar. Can anyone else on the team, does anyone else on the team know if they have a content calendar, or is it just primarily for events?
I think what Karen's referring to is the specific events calendar on DACDB. And
okay.
No, I don't think we're compatible yet.
Yeah. So yeah, correct. That's really to get people to your events. And remember, DACDB is the calendar on DACDB is very inwardly focused. It's focused to an internal audience, which is Rotarians. I know there are ways that you can share links in DACDB to allow people to register externally, but always be thinking of our two audiences. That's our internal audiences, which is Rotarians, but we need to make sure that we're looking out to external audiences, those people that they're Rotarians, they just don't know it yet. And they're not going to become Rotarians if they don't know about our events. So that's the DACDB calendar. What Canva has is a baked in content calendar where you can say, I've connected my social media channel to my Canva account, and tomorrow is July 26th, and I want this post to be published to Facebook. And so you can do that within the Canva Pro account. It's a content calendar right inside of Canva Pro that you could say in August, on every Monday of the month of August, I want to talk about membership opportunities because August is membership month. And so you can actually plan out those types of events ahead of time. Again, planning your work, working your plan so that you don't have to every week scramble to think, oh my gosh, it's August, what am I going to post today? So Canva has a built-in content calendar that we think is pretty powerful.
All right, I got a question here that was kind of already answered. It was typed in, but I think it's actually worth repeating. So Damara asked, where can we find brand material with the Imagine Rotary logo? So I don't know, Kim, if you want to take that one since you kind of answered it in the chat.
Sure. So you can always go to Rotary International and you can type in theme, presidential theme 2022-23, and it'll pull up. You can do that on Google, even though we have to be careful that you're getting the right thing. Really, your go-to is Rotary International and the Brand Center, and you can't miss it then. And you can always ask your district coordinator too, and your zone coordinator.
Yeah, that's a great point. For those of you that are club public image chairs, make sure you know who your district public image chair is, because that's another great resource. That's a much more local resource that you can use. So great tip there, Kim.
All right, I got one there. This is it's actually a cool one. Does the PI team have any specific tips for TikTok?
My orthopedic surgeon said, don't do it because you'll break something.
I'm just going to say they probably need to engage their Rotaract clubs.
You know, that's a great tip, and I would agree. But I would also tell you, again, think about rip off and duplicate. There's some really interesting stuff going on TikTok. There's some fun music. There's some memes. It really depends on your club. We know that every city has that club where it's been around for 100 years and they're very stoic and conservative, and you probably don't want to use memes or TikToks as part of your public image plan. But there's a lot of new and vibrant, and I'm generalizing there. Some of these clubs may be changing. What I'm telling you is make sure you reflect your club with your public image strategy. And I go to TikTok, and I definitely don't try to do any of the dance moves, but I do look at some of the things that they're doing and think, all right, how does that apply to Rotary? Because they got my attention, and I'm watching this now. How did they get my attention? And if there is something in there, a concept or a strategy or something tactical that I think that we can use as a Zone 34 team, I'm going to take it. So I think you use it as a resource to come up with some ideas.
I'll actually add something to that real quick. There are all types of videos that can be put up on TikTok, that you can generate a following for. So, I mean, find something that's appropriate for your brand and your club, that you can incorporate into your campaign and put out via TikTok and just increase your reach. But again, it should be appropriate, right? Just like there are all types of videos on YouTube, there are all types of videos on TikTok as well.
Yeah, and we see Instagram and Facebook certainly moving towards the short clips, the reels, the small videos. So it's not just limited to TikTok anymore. We're seeing, and we know that those short reels where people get your attention and tell a story, those are super powerful. So when you're thinking about doing a video, don't make it the 3-minute Ken Burns documentary, but think about ways that you can get your message across in the first 20 seconds, or get it across in 20 seconds with a hook in the first 5 and a call to action at the end. That's the other thing that I can't impress on you enough is always have some sort of a call to action at the end of your post. What is that next logical step? This is pure marketing 101. What's that next logical step that you want people to take after they've seen your content? Do you want them to visit a website? Do you want them to call you? Do you want them to sign up on a form to maybe visit your club? What's that call to action that you want people to take to be a part of Rotary? So make sure you include those call to actions. Any other questions, Sean?
Yeah, got a couple more, just real quick. So Marlon was asking that, well, first he said that he found a document somewhere online that shows how to change the colors of the Rotary logo appropriately, quote unquote. Is something like that applicable or advised? And does it apply to all logos, such as the Imagine Rotary logo? Now, I'm going to, that ends his question, but I'm going to put a little asterisk there and say, it all depends on what document Marlon found and where he found it. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I know that Rotary allows some flexibility with, you can do it all black or all white if you need it to stand out against a photo, a color photo. So I know there's that sort of latitude. We know that Rotaract has a flavor of pink that they use for their logo. So you probably don't want to use that for the Rotary logo. And we know Interact has that baby blue color that they use for the Interact logo. So you probably don't want to use that. And then you probably, I haven't looked at the guidelines in the last week or so, but I know that they do recommend that you don't get too crazy using those solid colors, but there is a little bit of latitude with using a solid Rotary logo depending on the use and what it's going to be sitting on top of, because again, we just wanted to pop off the page and people to recognize it. So I would just say be careful and always stay on the conservative side if you're changing the color of anything, and do not change the color of the Imagine Rotary logo. Either use that in its full color as purple and green, or use it in all white or all black as the knockout versions to sit across against a photo. But beyond that, that one, you're not supposed to change the colors at all.
I got a good one here. So Andre's asking, does Canva allow you to embed or iframe into a club's website? I'll take it.
What?
The answer is yes.
Yes, there you go. All right.
So Andre, to answer your question really simply, yes, there is a function in Canva that allows you to embed designs that you do in it directly into a club's website, whether you want to use iframe or whether you want to use something kind of higher grade.
You can even create a temporary website in Canva. I learned there's nothing you can't do in Canva. It's amazing.
Last question I think is, will the PI webinars be added to the Zone 34 DACDB calendar, or do we have to go to the new elevaterotary.org website to find the PI webinars?
No, I mean, and this is another public image strategy. We know that there is not one single channel that you can use to reach everybody. You want to reach people every which way that you can. Now, elevaterotary.org is going to be a super easy way because that's where we're going to be putting everything. But we will be cross-posting over into DACDB. We'll be making sure that we're posting links and creating events over on the Zones 33, 34 Facebook page. We'll be sending out email reminders and stuff like that. So it will be in DACDB. It'll be cross-posted there. But elevaterotary.org will certainly be probably the go-to spot if you're looking for something. And then if you can't find it there, maybe DACDB. All right. Here we go. Suzanne just asked over in the chat, if I create an image that includes a Rotary logo, do I have to get it approved before use? Suzanne, you do not have to get it approved before use. Some people do submit things to the Zone 34 Public Image Team just for our feedback and our guidance. Especially if they're going to be presenting or printing like thousands and thousands of pieces. They want to make sure it's right. The other day, someone sent me a sign that they're going to be putting in a park and said, hey, is this going to work? And actually, they needed to make a couple of minor adjustments to make sure it met the brand guidelines. So we are always happy to review and provide guidance, but you do not have to get everything approved to use the Rotary logo, but do refer back to the Brand Center and those brand guidelines. Because they're going to have a lot of tips and tricks on how to use the brand appropriately. So the answer is no, you do not. But if you like, we are always happy to help. And then, yeah, Sean, the one-time license via Rotary when branding and merchandising. So it's in our toolkit, and actually the toolkit hasn't been added. It's in our blog. And we're actually migrating all of our blog posts over to the website right now. So that's a work in progress. But we do have a form on there where you can get a one-time permission to use the Rotary logo for clothing or Frisbees or cups or mugs or whatever. Rotary always recommends that you go to their licensed vendors, the Russell Hamptons and those of the world if you can. But sometimes they know that there may be something that is very specific, like Rotary shorts and Rotary skirts, that Russell Hampton really doesn't want to produce. And you can get a one-time exception, although this is the second exception, to produce those. Some of the other things that you will find in the toolkit, and we will make sure that we get this posted as soon as possible because there is a lot of great resources there as well. There are some photo releases. And as you use pictures in your post, if it's not Rotarians, a lot of times you may want to get a photo release to make sure everything's on the up and up. A lot of times people are out in public and there's an expectation that what they're doing is public, and so they may appear in photos. We have recommended, though, as maybe as part of your new fireside chat, that you have Rotarians in your club sign a photo release that says, hey, our club is going to be doing a lot in public image and social media. Do we have your permission to use your image in our posts? Because sometimes what the club does isn't necessarily in the public domain. So that might be a good best practice going forward, to just add that as part of your fireside chat when you're onboarding a new Rotarian. And question from Judith: where does one look to identify district public image contact? You can always reach out to your district governor. That's a part of their team. I believe maybe in DACDB on your district tab. If you're in the North American districts, there may be a place that has committees for your district, and public image chair should be one of those. But zone contact is certainly, we're resources for you as well. And so we're always happy to help you, Judith. All right. We're coming up at the top of the hour. That was a lot of questions. That was a lot of content. Team, any last thoughts? Anything that I missed? You're allowed to tell me if I screwed up anything or missed anything. What did we cover everything? Are you guys ready to support these clubs and districts in Zone 34 going forward? Zone 34 plus. All right, lots of thumbs up. Yeah. Well, again, to everyone who participated and joined our call tonight, just can't tell you how excited we are to support you as we tell the Rotary story. We know that we do great things in our communities and around the world, and it's incumbent on us that we tell these stories to help as we grow Rotary, as we do more, and as we share more. So we look forward to working with you in the coming year. Please look at the elevaterotary.org website. Share feedback. If there's things that you think that we can add to it that may be missing, please pass that along. We'll be looking for other ways that we can enhance it. But again, thank you for joining tonight, and look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care, everyone.